The protesters are once again out in the nation's capital, gathering in the vicinity of the White House in now familiar scenes. But in the course of days of demonstration, there have been unprecedented sights. Military police deployed alongside law enforcement units at the president's instruction. Military and National Guard helicopters flying low over crowds, using the downdraft from rotors to cause people to scatter, a tactic often used in Iraq or other zones of foreign U.S. military deployment. The president has contemplated invoking the Insurrection Act, a seldom-used law introduced in the early 19th century that, subject to certain conditions, could allow the domestic deployment of the military in the event of civil unrest or insurrection. This strongly opposed by the Secretary of Defense.
The option to use active duty forces in a law enforcement role should only be used as a matter of last resort and only in the most urgent and dire of situations. We are not in one of those situations now. I do not support invoking the Insurrection Act.
President Trump's spokesperson brushed aside the secretary's comments.
The president has the sole authority to invoke the Insurrection Act. It is definitely a tool within his power. This president has one singular aim, and it is protecting America's streets. We cannot have burning churches. We cannot have police officers who are shot. We cannot have businesses that are looted and destroyed. The Insurrection Act is a tool available. The president has the sole authority, and if needed, he will use it.
Earlier, sources at the Pentagon announced that armed military units that had been deployed near the city were being sent back to their home bases. But this decision was reversed after the Secretary of Defense held a meeting at the White House, and armed soldiers remain poised for immediate deployment should the president so desire. Then, in an extraordinary statement, a former Defense Secretary denounced the president for dividing the nation. Esteemed General James Mattis resigned in December 2018 after serious policy disagreements with President Trump. He refused to comment then, saying he would when the time was right. Now he's condemned the president for, as he puts it, ordering troops to violate the constitutional rights of their fellow citizens. And he continues, Donald Trump is the first president in my lifetime who does not try to unite the American people, does not even pretend to try. Instead, he tries to divide us. We are witnessing the consequences of 3 years of this deliberate effort. We are witnessing the consequences of 3 years without mature leadership. Heavily armed National Guard troops deployed on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. A graphic image of a society divided, pitting troops against a city and its residents they are meant to serve. Mike Hanna, Al Jazeera, Washington.